let's do a little let's do a little kind of discussion about like we have different stories. So it sounds like yours wasn't your experience as an atheist. Was there that kind of internal trauma? Did you look at the void? Did you feel the void? It doesn't sound like you necessarily did.
I was afraid of hell. That was what scared me. I
Oh,
was
really?
afraid of going to hell. Oh yeah, I remember when I rejected Christianity. I remember I don't know what he's up to nowadays, but there's a YouTube channel called Mr. Repzion. He was like an atheist YouTube channel, and he had a video on like I literally typed in because I was like 13. I was like, "Hell isn't real," and he did like a video mocking the conception of Christian hell. And if I watched it now, I'd probably think it was pretty laughable. But you know, being a young man, I was like, "Wow, this is pretty." Yeah, okay, yeah, you really showed them. I mean, that kind of did it for me, and I think that the thing that I, looking back, didn't like about the atheist community or mindset, and I hope it's better now, for the sake of the members of the atheist community. I don't know what they're up to nowadays, but my main issue with atheism is, and we can talk more about this in the next episode, but it's atheism, right? It's a belief system based in antithesis. And so to me, due to the fact that it's not a positive belief system, it's a voidal, or I don't know if that's a word, but it's a void. So it's purely reactionary. Therefore, all of its activity is spent antagonizing, actively or passively, another group of people and their beliefs. And you can think that's right or wrong. You can think it's good to antagonize Christians, but I don't know if that's necessarily the most or fulfilling or positive way to live life. And so I realized that, what did we talk about when I wasn't really talking to anyone. I was kind of a loser, but what were people I was watching YouTube talking about when they talked about their belief system? It was how stupid other people were, how stupid Christians were. It was mocking other people. And so, I mean, again, you can think that Christianity and its adherents are worthy of mockery, but I don't think that's super happy. And another thing that was happening was weird to me was there was a YouTube, can't remember think of her name, but there was a female atheist YouTuber who was getting a lot of harassment by her fan base. And, she was interacting, and they were sending her a lot of inappropriate things or something like that. And one of the other guys in kind of the atheism sphere at the time put out a video talking about how awful this was and how terrible this was and how we should do this and how people deserve respect. And I mean, if we're going to give generally atheism a positive term, I don't mean positive as in good, I mean positive as in an actual propositional name, the philosophical bedrock would kind of be existential, empirical, objective nihilism, right? Like you can have subjective nihilism, but objectively all is accidental. And so it popped in my head like, well, why? If we're just apes and apes in nature pursue female mates and I'm just a hyper-evolved ape, you can say it's wrong on a societal level, but intrinsically there's nothing wrong with that because there's nothing wrong with anything because, and again, I'm not trying to straw man the position. I'm just saying I could see someone intellectually say, I don't care about any external moral norms. Why are they binding to me as a person? So it was very weird to me because he was using language that was religious in terms, we ought not do this and we ought do this. Someone ought be treated a certain way and someone ought not be treated this way. And he spoke in a communal sense, as we as the atheists YouTube community should have certain standards and guidelines. And I was sitting back and I was saying, this is getting very cultic, at least in a passive sense. This is getting very communal in a way that starts to kind of, I mean, if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, it's starting to sound like a duck. And this is starting to sound, in some vague way, religious, if I can use that term. And people might take umbrage with that term, but that's just my observation, how people are naturally religious, and they, in this instance, made their atheist community in this certain time or place their religious congregation.
Yeah. Oh boy, I have a couple of really interesting thoughts and observations about that, and I'll wrap it up with I guess a little bit of a teaser for the next one. But it seems as if though we were on weirdly sort of overlapping but contrasting journeys at the same time. I would argue that yours was more philosophical and mine was more experiential, but we were both kind of arriving at sort of different angles of that same problem, that once you jettison foundations in a sound basis for a belief in absolute truth, then you are eventually going to have to become subjective, which is kind of where I was anticipating we would go today.
Yes.
And I like that we're getting there organically.
Yes.
So let's tail end this one for now, and we'll pick it up with sort of the late void stage and see if we get into the end of the void next time. But we have more to settle on here. So until then, this is Eric Slay with the Pen Guy.
This is Alex Burks.
And this has been Pen Guy Podcasting.